the Houston Texans just clinched the AFC South and have just clinched a spot in the playoffs. To start out this video, I'd like to say that if you did not watch my video before the season on the Colts losing Andrew Luck, it is because I didn't post it. I don't know why, but I didn't. But in that video, I said the Texans have. That was the opportunity. This is the opportunity to win the division for the Texans since Andrew Luck retired. And we did it. But there's just a bit of a problem. Houston Texans are now 10-5. And next week they will close out the season against Tennessee, the Tennessee Titans. The Texans versus Buccaneers was one of the most wild, wacky, and active games I've ever watched as a Texans fan and as a Houston fan. Jameis Winston, the fact that this game finished as close as it was tells me that this hurts the Texans' chances in the playoffs. Now, they're going to the playoffs, but what I'm saying here exactly is this game, this win, may have changed my point of view on how far the Texans will make it in the playoffs. Why I say this. This game should have been a blowout. I think the Texans should have won this game at least 35-20. That's what I think should have happened. But the final score in Week 15's Saturday special game, Texans and Buccaneers, is 23-20 Texans. And almost all of the Texans' wins this season have been games decided by 7 points or fewer. Which is not good, considering the fact that we've played a lot of teams that aren't that good, and we've basically barely beat them. So, to start this review, I'm going to say this. Why this game should have been a playoff. This game felt like a playoff game. Or at least that's what Bill O'Brien said. To me, it just felt like the clinching game. And why this game should have been a blowout is because Jameis Winston, the QB of Tampa Bay, played so badly that this should have been a blowout. He threw for a lot of yards, which is good. But he threw 4 interceptions. 4. And in total, Tampa Bay turned the ball over 5 times. 5 times. And what was the final score? 23-20? Excuse me? Now, credit to the Texans for pulling this win out. The defense helped force those turnovers, but it wasn't the difference in the game was really the turnovers. Was the turnovers by Tampa Bay. I like that the Texans got this one. A win is a win. But When a team turns the ball, when your opponent turns the ball over 5 times, you have to capitalize each of those times. If you are a team that can make it far in the playoffs, if you are a team that is playoff bound, the Texans defense forced turnovers, but really, they didn't stop the Buccaneers offense other than those turnovers. They just kind of scored off of us every other time. And the fact that the Texans offense, which is supposed to be our main weapon, did not capitalize out of at least most of those turnovers is appalling. It is appalling. Deshaun Watson did not play good. Deshaun Watson didn't play good, but he had big plays. You like to see that from a quarterback. Deshaun Watson can still be a big-time quarterback. But it seems to me like Deshaun Watson has been cold the past few weeks. He did not play that good against Tennessee. He did not play good against Denver. He played the last game that I feel he played good was against New England, which was a huge win for us. The Buccaneers in the first quarter showed no signs of confidence. They showed no sign that they wanted to win this game. No sign. And the Texans only scored 10 points in the first quarter. Now, the first three... Tampa's first 3 possessions, interception, blocked field goal. Texans forced all of those, which was, I'll hand that to them, they did that. So, I'll give them that. But I feel like that was really the only time in the game when we were in control. It felt like even when we were in the lead after the first quarter, that, Tampa wasn't going away. It didn't seem like they were going away. It didn't seem like the Texans were in control. It didn't seem like they had confidence. Even during the game, the broadcasters were saying, I feel like the momentum is going Tampa's way, even with the way they've been playing. Jameis Winston is one of Tampa's best players right now. And yesterday, Tampa played without 2 of their best players, Mike Evans and Chris Goodwin. And Jameis Winston played awful. He was not good. He threw 4 interceptions. If you're going to throw 4 interceptions, you got to get like 600 yards. At least. I don't even think he broke 300. So, to me, he did not play good. And he was overthrowing people who were wide open, which was another problem for the Texans defense. They let guys get past them so easily. But they got lucky because, Winston was not on target. He was overthrowing every time, it seemed like. Or they just weren't catching the ball. And the offense for the Texans was just so mediocre in this game. We lost Will Fuller again because apparently that guy can't stay healthy. Even Bill O'Brien said that after the game. It's hard for him to stay healthy. And that kind of hurt us. But other than that, we still should have kind of won this. We still should have won this game by more than 3 points. We made some big plays offensively. Deshaun Watson did not play that well, but he had a few big moments. There was a moment in the game where it was 3rd down and 15 and Deshaun ran for the first down. That, to me, was a good play. That was one of his best plays of the game. But there were just moments where it just seemed like Deshaun was doing the same thing that Winston was. Watson threw, I think, 1 or 2 interceptions in this game. I know he had an interception. So he had 1 or 2 interceptions. He was also kind of overthrowing guys. There was a moment in the game where O'Brien was basically saying, you know what, we're going to go to the side. Watson, throw it right there. And Kenny, you're going to run for the first down. Deshaun overthrew Kenny Stills and DeAndre Hopkins twice on those plays. Which is not good. Not good. The Texans' play calling in the first half is a big reason why this game was so close. It seemed like Bill O'Brien wanted this game to be close. It seemed like he did, because the play calling for the Texans in the first half was so bad that I couldn't even begin. It was that terrible. Tampa Bay's defense is known to have the best defense in the league when it comes to running the ball. And all O'Brien was doing in the first half was running the ball. Now, I get it. You might want to establish a run game so that you can catch them off guard and throw one downfield. But it didn't seem like O'Brien was doing that. It just seemed like he was running the ball to run the ball. Deshaun was not throwing forward passes. He was doing these little dump-offs next to him, and then the guys would run for the first down. That didn't work either. They'd get 2 yards at most. So, I think those are the reasons that this game was as close as it is. I don't think this game should have been close. I think it should have been a blowout with how bad Tampa's offense and Jameis Winston played. So, to wrap this review up, I like what the Texans are doing. They're winning games. But look at Baltimore. Take Baltimore, for instance. Baltimore is pounding teams over and over and over again. I don't really see the Texans doing that. I don't see them pounding teams that aren't really that good. Baltimore is pounding them. Literally. Pounding them. And I'm hoping that the Texans can close out the season with a blowout win against the Titans so we could make sure that Tennessee doesn't find their way into the playoffs. Because Tennessee is a good team. They have good players. And they can be a threat to the Texans. I realized that last week when we played them and barely beat them. So, the Texans, to me, need to win next week to keep Tennessee out of the playoffs because Pittsburgh lost today to the Jets. And Tennessee is 8-7, so is Pittsburgh. That's not the point, though. I want to see the Texans do something this year other than getting past the wild card game in these playoffs. So that is going to wrap it up for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did like this video, please subscribe. And leave a comment down below what you thought of the Texans and Buccaneers game. Did you like how the Texans offense and defense played? Did you like how they played overall? Or did you like how, or did you dislike how the Texans were playing? Did you think this should have been a blowout win? So once again, like, subscribe, and comment. I will see you later, Texans fans. Go Texans!